Incidental fish, the background characters, the usual folk. You read the title, you already know how this is gonna work. I'm ranking each and nearly every incidental because I have nothing better to do with my life. Rankings are based on how much I like each fish, including design, coloring, and most importantly, personality. I'm going down the current list on the SpongeBob wiki, so the expected order might be a bit different than what you think. Whatever, yada yada, time to lose my mental health for the next hour or so. Also, one of my viewers left a comment saying to meow if I like SpongeBob. You really think I'm gonna meow? Final note, if my voice sounds a bit scratchier or scragglier than usual, blame that on Pool from Yakuza 5. Number 1. Who better to start this list than Fred? This legend first appeared in Reef Blower, all the way back in Season 1, and nearly got into a wreck. I guess his leg does go all the way back, huh? What do you expect? He's a fan favorite. Easy S tier. Number 1D. So a good chunk of the incidentals have colored variants, denoted by the letter after the number. I'm including 1D because he is A, the screaming guy from Something Smells, and B, labeled by the SpongeBob trading card game as Troutenheimer. He's been a Scotsman and an old graduated friend of SpongeBob. I also associate him pretty closely with the dark ages of the show. You know, he showed up a lot in mediocre episodes that were kind of frustrating, like the Plays the Thing. He's getting a B for Bomb. Yeah, I don't know why he's named that either, but he's on pretty thin ice. Number 2. This is the most regular fish you can get. You have any fond memories of this guy? I can't recall any, to be honest. I think he got shot into the air in Culture Shock. I think. Middle of the road, C tier. Not great, not terrible. He was also supposed to be the fish with Fred in Reef Blower, but instead got replaced by Number 3. This guy also doesn't stand out too much, though I do have to give props for the really cool fins on the back. He feels more like a fish than anyone else, probably due to those eyes. Another middle of the road, C tier. Number 4. Ugh, this barnacle head. So on the surface, or shallows I guess, incidental number 4 seems perfectly normal. But the more you dig into him, the worse he gets. This is one of the idiots who wanted Bubble Buddy dead. He tries to skimp out on saving SpongeBob in pre-hibernation week, and he insults Sponge in Wigstruck. He was also featured on Fancy Living Digest, leading me to wonder if this fool is rich, or just a really pompous jerk. I don't think any of the other fish are actually friends with him, especially when number 2 swipes his piggy bank in fun. D tier. Jerk. Number 5. He's a bit of a pushover, but seems like a decent enough dude. Also, he is one of the usual couple characters we see. In Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, he's chilling with another fish at Makeout Reef. Makeout Reef. Good times. Good times. Solid C tier. Number 6. Same league as Fred. You know this guy. The chocolate guy. Tom. He learned about the talking dog at the Shell Shack, which was singing, and had a different color to him. As much as we love this guy, let's be real. He has the worst anger management in the entire town. He yelled at his kid for ice cream, chased our duo around for chocolate, and was quick to jump the gun on Bubble Buddy. I'm really hoping this isn't a trend of everyone hating on poor old Bubble Buddy. But what you probably remember him best for, pizza delivery. This man is the bane of every fast food worker. What a pathetic, self-absorbed, egotistical, asinine fool. He gets an A only for his recognizability, otherwise he gets D tier. Number 7. Commonly called Sally or Susie Fish. She flip-flops between being Pearl's teenage friend and usual adult incidental where needed. She's kinda everywhere, like working at a bank, going to Bikini Bottom High School, known hater of talking cheese, and is also a parent. But she's also a huge Larry the Lobster fan, but was making out with number 5 on Makeout Reef. My Neptune, she's a cheater. F tier. We don't tolerate that here, Nancy or Susie or Kendra or whatever fake name you decide to go by today. Number 8. Out of all the incidental fish, number 8 is the realest one here. She speaks her mind and does not care what most people think. Does this mean she sometimes will lie to others? Yeah, but I kind of respect her for it. Also, Sponge mimics her in Mimic Madness, so any friend of Sponge is a friend of mine. I also just really like the candy cane pattern. I think it pops well. B tier. Number 9. Pretty quiet, all things considered. They are mostly shown with Krabby Patties, but was also a competitor in the Fry Cook games. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. C tier. Number 10. Seems like a big fish in a small pond, to be honest. Mostly known for heckling SpongeBob during his racist arc. F tier. We don't tolerate racism here, buddy. Number 11. Aw yeah. Finally! I love the design of this Incidental, commonly a student and friends with Pearl. According to Mr. Krabs, she's also part of the 2% that hasn't eaten at the Krusty Krab, which lines up with her earlier going to the Cuddly Crab. Also is a huge fan of Flipper Slippers. I just love the design of this one. She's great. S tier. Hands down. Number 12. Put some clothes on for Neptune's sake, hun. Was enamored with the Bubble Bath Showdown, as she should be, but unfortunately was a victim of the open window maniac. She also is one of the few incidentals to have a relatively stable relationship with him up next. C tier. I wouldn't be friends with her, but also not really enemies. Number 13. Seems to really enjoy sports. He's been a referee quite a few times. I do really like his design. The floral shorts go hard. Also takes up acting as a hobby and pulls off some hair. Props to you, man. B tier. Number 14. Neptune. Here we have the worst person in town. I genuinely do not know how many fish she has gotten with. It changes what feels like every other episode. She assaults one of her boyfriends, goes crazy for handsome Squidward, and supposedly comes to love 107 but later as a kid with someone else. What a hag. Though I will give credit, I do really like the screenshot of her in Whirly Brains, like on the phone. D tier for divorced. Number 15. Classic green guy with glasses. I don't think anybody hates this guy. He's also a part of the same group as number 11 from earlier. This guy just has a cool aura about him. He seems like he would know how to fix cars and just has a good grasp on life. A tier. Number 16. He shows up more in newer episodes, and that's fine. There's also this image which I think suits him perfectly. Not much to say. Sorry if you're one of the 5 diehard Incidental number 16 fans. C tier. Number 17. What he lacks in appearances and general personality, he makes up for in fashion. Point me to any fish that has a better sense of style. Please, try. You can't. Simple. B tier. Number 18.
He's the nerd emoji. What are you gonna do, cry me to death? Oh, boo.
Easy F tier. What a wuss. Number 19. A bit mysterious. Originally showed up in season 1 and took until season 13 for her to really make a reappearance. She does have some style though, I'll give her credit. I think B tier will work pretty well. Number 20. Apparently named Dodo? He's a bit of an odd fella. His childhood friend was a funny muffler. He was also a big fan of Squidward's snot Krabby Patties. Yeah, keep me away from this guy. D tier. Number 21. I actually don't recognize this guy. His design is very unique. I like him though. He feels like a friend. He actually hasn't even had a speaking role, so maybe he's just shy. A tier. I like this guy. Number 22. 22 is a bit of an odd fish. She's changed appearance many times, originally as one of the beach losers in ripped pants, and later adopts a mashed potato hairdo. Her eyes are the most striking element of her design. I'll give it a B. Number 23. One of the fish on my bikini bottom hit list. This guy sucks. He flat out sits on SpongeBob and made fun of his grandma to the point where the others got tired of him. He's also a complete moron if pre-hibernation week shows anything. Have you ever tried to interact with a person who just shows no positive traits and you wonder how they live such a sad, unsatisfied life where the only thrill they get is by bullying others? Yeah, that's 23. F tier. Number 24. If 23 is an idiot, 24 has no brain, and we love him for it. This guy is loyal and buff, 2 of the best attributes you can have. When the town was called upon to find SpongeBob, he didn't wimp out and find an excuse. No, he goes full force.
Gold team rules! Now get moving!
And yes, later he does go back on his word, but I think he's justified since by this point the Texan adrenaline-pumped squirrel has driven the town to complete insanity. This guy is a friend, through and through. S tier. I'd love to bench with him. Number 24, A through P. Another variation. These guys are cool. Since they're based off of 24, you can assume they're beachgoers as well. My personal favorite is 24A. I feel like we don't see many non-simple fish in the show. B tier for bro. Number 25. One of the medical personnel seen throughout the series. He also works as a second job as a vet. I can't really be mean to this guy. Medical professionals are in high demand in Bikini Bottom. I mean, have you seen the number of random explosions they get? B tier. Number 26. Apparently named Joe. Pretty much always seen with number 25. So much so that I can't really tell him apart. Like his clone before him, he also covers multiple jobs, namely an electrician in Glove World. I'm docking points for the exact same design, but I really like Glove World, so How about a C? Number 27. Another famous incidental, to me at least. This guy is pretty chipper, and boasts an amazing hat collection throughout the series, from a blue cap to a fedora at one point. Now, granted he is a bit of a jerk at times, so that drops him some points, but I can't just ignore the vibe of this guy being chill. B tier. Number 28. Didn't we cover this guy already? I swore we did. Anyways, he's annoying at best. In the few appearances he's had, he's mostly just an idiot. Oftentimes he just blends into crowds. Like in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4, he just gets launched. D tier. I don't like this guy. Alright design though. Number 29. Okay, so 28 had sparse appearances, 29 is even rarer. They show up to the Cuddly Crab once. That's all I have on here. I don't know who this fish is. I will admit, I do like the design. I think the dark blue has a great contrast with the yellow spots. The wiki also says 29 didn't even show up in seasons 3, 5, 7, 8, and 12. You want my theory? I think this fish has some kind of under wraps relationship with 19. Don't tell anybody though. C tier. Number 30. Aw yeah, baby. The first incidental ever seen in the show. How can you hate this guy? He's the ultimate anchovy, and himself and a few colored variants pop up everywhere. Proud member of the Jelly Spotters and Captain SpongeBob's crew before the whole dopey dick incident. This may be a controversial move, but I'm slapping this meeping guy into S tier. You can't get more classic and original than SpongeBob without an anchovy. Change my mind. Number 31. You know, diving into 31, my first expectation was to insult this guy into oblivion, but as I researched, skimmed his page on the SpongeBob wiki, I don't have anything mean to say. Guy just seems like a normal dude. Eats at the Krusty Krab, has to pay rent, and he even got a table with Squidward and pranks a lot. Maybe it was only for a short time, but isn't that nice? A tier. I like this guy. I'd probably be happy to get a group assignment with this guy. Seems like he could hold his weight. Number 32. Do you have a show or a game where sometimes a one-off character is better than part of the main crew? That's kind of my stance on Don the Whale. Extra points for having a really unique design, and has also been voiced both by Clancy Brown and Tom Kenny, as well as the expected voice of literally everything in this world, D. Bradley Baker. He also goes to the Salty Spittoon. High A tier. I would give him S, but killer whales are a little scary. Also, I'm worried he's gonna beat me up. Number 33. Net Lady. Haven't seen her too much, but I like her. Not much to say here. I'll give a good middle of the road C tier. Number 34. Okay, so interesting bit of trivia. Incidental 34 is actually a group of incidental fish. These are the actual background fish. Barely noticeable and quite often very simple and undetailed. I like these guys and gals. Anywhere they show up, especially in season 1, you can zoom in for a pretty funny screenshot. Though I will admit on the wiki, their separated images give a haunting vibe to them. You ever see the Hell Valley sky trees from Super Mario Galaxy? Yeah, B tier for background. Number 35. 2 essential bits of information you need to know. 1. This is that poor weak fish from Muscle Bob Buff Pants. 2. Besides that one time, he wears the sickest sunglasses. I don't need to know his personality, his status, or even morality. The shades earn him an easy A tier. Number 36. You know those playlists on YouTube titled like No Thoughts, Head Empty? Number 36, or Harold as he is sometimes called, encapsulates that perfectly. First off, great fashion sense and contrasting colors. Second, he lent his marshmallows to SpongeBob. When making these kinds of tier lists, I have insane standards. Nobody likes a bloated S tier. You have to really try to even get an A, which is why Incidental 36 gets an S tier. Well deserved. Number 37. 37 is like a younger brother. He might be funny and entertaining sometimes, but often gets overshadowed by the older and greater siblings. He's basically known for his 15 minutes of fame from featuring in the sweater song that SpongeBob sings in As Seen on TV. I will admit, I do really like this line in Battle of Bikini Bottom. Not the game.
Hey, mister, where did you and your friends get your matching outfits?
Oh, no. These aren't my friends. In fact, I hate just about everyone here.
B tier. Number 37B. Presumably older brother to 37. This guy is great. Out of all the characters we've discussed so far, he is the most deadpan of them all. And since he has a hat, say it with me now, great fashion sense. A tier. I would put him in B, but I think it's funnier if he overshadows 37, even in the tier list. Number 38. One of the few incidentals with a confirmed name, not just randomly given in some episodes. This is Scooter, and if you've watched any of the first few seasons, you know this guy. The SpongeBob wiki calls him a groovy fish who enjoys surfing, partying, and saying awesome. According to model sheets, he has also been labeled as the dude. Alright, hi, it's Future Betan. I am currently searching for a super unknown piece of trivia relating to Scooter. I found a comic strip where he says his best friend is his surfboard, but this isn't the trivia I wanted. I'll report back in the next 5 seconds. I'm back. I've read like 20 different entire comics of SpongeBob. I didn't find the trivia piece I wanted, so just assume that where the wiki says Scooter also is a superhero titled Double Dude is true. There is a single image featuring this, but I wanted the original comic he appeared in rather than just a title page, but I'll make do. Holy fish paste, I got it. Huge thanks to Ultimate SpongeBob 101, who is pretty much the grandfather of SpongeBob content here on YouTube. I mean that, he has been at work for literally over a decade. Massive respect from one SpongeBob fan to another. Easiest S tier of my life. Number 39. After whatever catastrophe that was, we are back to normal. 39, also known as Lou, is a vendor situated all throughout Bikini Bottom. Best known for being a massive cynic and that time he made a business out of fish cannibalism. I'm between a C and a B. Let's flip a coin. C tier, number 40, poor Lou. A C tier sandwiched between two complete legends. We all know this guy. The first time he pops up is in Ripped Pants, where he is a joyous soul just trying to eat his beach hamburger. This is the last time we've seen him happy. Every incident past this, he's been an aggressive, combative fish. He's especially not a fan of big, meaty claws. He's also the main instigator for one of my favorite bits of the entire show. That being,
how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
what can I say? I'm a sucker for a background character standing up for our main leads. Love ya, old Joe. Does this kinda go against the general ranking of liking friendly incidentals? Yep, S tier, no questions. Number 41. Finally, we dive into some lesser known faces. This Fishenstein's monster fellow only shows up in Scaredy Pants and in comic number 5. Not the official SpongeBob comics number 5. No, this is a separate Chinese comic book series. We don't know much about him, but I mean, I've already offhand mentioned I like Frankenstein quite a bit, so for that, he gets an A tier. Number 41. Finally, we dive into some lesser known... Wait, what? So as it turns out, the incidental numbering system is a bit quirky. The current number 41 isn't the one I just talked about, but instead, drumroll please, this guy. As per the wiki, 41 is believed to be the most common incidental in the show. I think it'd be easier to list appearances where he doesn't show up. He's been a bus driver, a boating school student, a banker, a snail racing fan, a snail food business fish, a crane game entrepreneur, the ticket guy for Glove World, a drummer, a cop, a repairman, and probably thousands more other jobs and careers. I'm kinda worried S tier is getting a bit inflated. I think he is an easy S tier contender, but I've really gotta start being meaner. Gotta be stricter. 42 v1. The next 15 or so incidentals have some Scaredy Pants people mixed in with the whole scrap number stuff I mentioned a bit ago. Fake number 42 is this brat. I've never wanted to complain about how bad the younger generations are more than right now. Her posse is all annoying. She bullies our boy Sponge, and for this, I personally, objectively, non-politically, say that she deserves to be executed by firing squad, but her one saving grace is the costume. I like it. D tier for death row. Sometimes I wonder if I go a little bit too far. Nah. Number 42 v2. Just like the 41 situation, the replacement incidental is leagues better. I had that whole segment about bloating S tier, but I mean, come on, it's Frank. Shows up in Ripped Pants alongside the better 41. Because of that, I like to think these guys are bros. He also gets one of the many legendary lines of the show.
This is a load of barnacles.
I heard that!
S tier. Number 43. Surprisingly, no replacement for 43 exists to my knowledge. He has all the downsides of being in the Halloween posse, but he's just a low guy. I'm feeling merciful, I guess. C tier. Number 44. You know, I really like the outfit. Not much to say on this one. Same downsides as that brat from earlier. D tier. 45 v1. Now this is a scary fish. C tier. Number 45 v2. Another one of the super common fish. She's been everywhere. She's a bit weird. She fangirls for King Neptune and Craig Mamilton. Now, I know Craig Mamilton is the hottest thing ever and easily beats out all the other famous celebrities people find hot, but keep it under control, lady. B tier. Number 46 v1. The last Scaredy Pants replacement type. Dressed up as a mermaid, which is pretty funny. That's literally all I have to say here. C tier. Number 46 v2. For how many times she has shown up, I don't have much to say. Rips off the fashion and just has a lesser color scheme than that candy cane lady from earlier. Most C tier pick ever. Number 47, similar situation to 46, but commonly shown with a kid. She's pretty protective, which I've gotta respect. B tier. Number 48, you know what? I've been too nice. You haven't done anything wrong, 48, you're just a victim of circumstance. Sorry, hun. F tier. Number 49. Mainly known for that one screenshot from Someone's in the Kitchen with Sandy, she seems nice, offers free cookies, and works as a nurse. As explained before, any medical worker in Bikini Bottom gets respect from me. B tier. Number 50, another crowd incidental. Showed up in season 1 and it took until season 14 for them to come back, over a whopping 20 years. They haven't aged a day. I'm jealous. C tier. Number 51. We are nearly done with Scaredy Pants, I promise. I'm just gonna lightning round these guys. Dressed up as an ogre, but honestly, I'm not seeing it. D tier. 52. Related to Frankenstein, that's all I need. B tier. 53. A rocket ship? With the USA listed on the side? The theory community is going crazy right now. A tier. Number 54 and number 55. We have no idea who the barnacle they are. No ranking. Also the same for 57 to 59. Number 56. I was gonna make a Nosferatu joke, but they beat me to it. B tier. 60. Oh, Neptune, get those away from me. What the barnacle? F tier for feet. Ugh. 61. Oh, hello. Any design that isn't a generic fish already gets points from me. He's got a funny mouth. I'm sold. A tier. Number 62. Who are you? They've shown up a total of 6 times, mostly just in the first few seasons. I gotta say, that stance is imposing. Maybe it's just the eye placement or stance that 62 takes, but I feel like he deserves my respect. Almost demands it. B tier. Number 63. She seems like a chill, normal fish. I just feel bad for her. Nobody deserves burnt fries. Nobody. But besides that, she just does pretty basic stuff, mainly just dining at the Krusty Krab. Can't falter there. C tier. Number 64. Every time I see him, I just think of Crabborg, where he claims he's not a robot. Sure, pal. He was also the judge for the Bikini Bottom Pet Show. Shame on you, man. You had so much potential. D tier. Number 65. And to complement 63's fries, we have the amazing burnt shake drinker. Not much else to say here. Turns out writing witty lines for every single incidental is tough. Who would have guessed? C tier. Number 66. First glance, I refuse to believe this is a real incidental. As expected, this fully dressed person has sparse appearances. But then I discovered storyboard artist Simon Edwards made a sketch of 66 wishing crew member Ian Vasquez a happy birthday and claimed the world was too dangerous for 66 and had to be locked in the vault. First, this is like the 4th time in a row I've mentioned Ian Vasquez. This is getting kind of creepy and is not intentional, I promise. Second, free my boy. Originally a D tier, but the trivia bumps him up to an A tier. I've gotta see him be free, no matter the cost, please. Number 67. I think I'm going crazy, but I swear we've covered this guy already. He's fine, just a simple C tier. Number 68. Sorry to all the Incidental 68 fans, but I feel nothing. Absolutely nothing. D tier. Number 69. Another one of the classic fish that blends into crowds. I like the fin color, but that's really about it. C tier.
Hey, SpongeBob's back!
No further explanation required. S tier. Number 71. I like this guy purely for his one speaking line.
April Fools. Jerk.
Wait, don't go!
You stink!
Besides that, I like how some of his art is just naked, cause why not? B tier. Number 72. Mr. Doodles is an incidental. Never would have guessed it. He deserves an A. I can imagine he's getting cheap worm food due to Mr. Krabs owning him, so I'm helping out wherever I can. You're loved, Mr. Doodles. I promise. Number 73. And to cap off our regulars for a while, we have 73. I think the outfit and color palette is great, and him having a pseudo hairstyle is sick. I'm giving him a B tier and refusing to do any more research on him. And now we hit another specialized group, everyone's favorite, the elderly. Now 74 to 79 are unknown, leading me to think they all, well, you know. Alright, that's all I'm doing for this. I am so tired, my voice hurts. We're doing this in another recording. Number 80. Now this guy knows how to live. Free baths and part of a mild biker gang. He would definitely have some great stories to tell you if you were his grandkid. I feel like you can't hate this guy. A tier. Number 81. So unfortunately, as we progress through this section, most of the old farts here lack individuality. Most of them are locked to shady shoals, which rarely shows up. The coolest thing about this guy is specifically 81C, who sports a light blue shirt and literally nothing else to distinguish himself. He also actually just hasn't shown up in the series. His model sheet exists, but poor old 81C hasn't been in an episode. Oh well, you know what they say. Don't cry over unused background elderly fish in a kid's cartoon. Or something like that. I can't remember the quote. C tier. Number 82. She has one of the more defined elderly designs. She always reminds me of Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. That just reminded me of Fred. Ugh, hate that guy. Anyways, she's best known for having Man Ray take her to prom. How sweet. That is adorable. Just for that, A tier. You go, Mabel. Number 83. One of the many fish who could qualify as Old Man Jenkins to me. By far the most memorable elder. Like when I think elderly fish in SpongeBob, first thought is this guy. Part of the official name crew, he is designated as Old Man Walker. So I guess that's a no for the Jenkins stuff. He hit on a pole in the Krusty Krab and is basically the only person to actually enjoy Patrick's song. I love how he's portrayed just as a complete idiot. Poor guy has no clue what is going on. For that, he deserves a B. Number 84. Literally the only thing of note she has ever done was call for Sponge and Pat's head to get ripped off. Literally all I have for this entry. D tier? I don't know. Maybe you guys have some amazing knee-slapping stories about Incidental 84. I do not. Number 85. The greatest one-trick pony of all time. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Besides that, in the Patrick Star Show, he gets a visit from SpongeBob, and seems really touched by it. Now I kinda feel bad. These poor old fish probably don't get many visitors. Am I really getting emotional for a cartoon fish? Maybe. Just a little. C tier. For crying my eyes out. Number 86. Another contender for Old Man Jenkins. I was going to be nice, but then remembered he appeared in Idiot Box on the TV. This would be perfectly fine, but do you see that? Right there? F equals ma squared. You know what that is close to? One of Newton's laws, which means forces, which means physics, and on this channel we hate physics. I hate physics, none of it makes sense. It is a false idea. I don't understand vectors, nor torque, nor magnetic fields, or superposition, or anything. I don't know how you're supposed to be able to calculate these things, or do angular velocity, or frequency. It's all fake. I refuse to believe otherwise. Double F tier. That is how much I hate physics. Not a real concept. You will not convince me otherwise. Whew. Number 87. One of the two chocolate ladies, stuck caring for her somehow still alive mom, but defensive of her family. She does admit she needs to be put in a box floating down the river. Sounds like she needs to be more confident. I'm not helping her with this though. D tier. Number 88. Why in the model sheet is he just throwing it back? I mean, he's got a bit of a groove to him. Plus that scarf is helping his case. Alright, you know what? Just for that, I'll give you a B tier. Number 89. Ugh. What am I looking at? Wait, he's got cute slippers on. I've never been so conflicted in my life. He also has sparse appearances, first showing up in the original Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, then it took about 7 more seasons for him to show back up, then around another 5 seasons. You're lucky, old fart. Those slippers are the one thing saving you. C tier. Number 90. That is a design, just like how this is a D tier. Nothing to say. Number 91. My headcanon, this fish is the grandfather of the green one from earlier. I don't remember the number, but the me who edits the video will probably put him on screen right now. This guy was also at one point named Old Man Jenkins. I've got nothing for you, old timer. Apologies. C tier. Number 92. Didn't even know he was elderly, to be honest. I thought he was more middle-aged. Am I getting old? Oh god. He also has a few appearances with the next fish, so I'll just say they're in a relationship. Good for them. C tier. Number 93. Ugh, you. I remember that hairdo in classes. She seems really mean, and like she'd throw a fit if I said her cooking sucks. F tier. Screw you, lady. Number 94. Last of the elderly fish for a while. Thank Neptune. I like the shoes and the hair, and really want to be done with the old people. C tier. Number 95. Finally! Back to some normal fish. I really only know her as a reporter. Cool necklace, not much else. C tier. Number 96. We've got another lightning round. Number 96, Pink Explosion, C tier. Number 97, seems like a casual dude, nice shirt, and the spots below the eyes give him some personality, C tier. Number 98, the pinnacle of fashion, A tier. Number 99, he looks like someone who hates their job, but it's too late to find a new profession, poor guy, D tier. Number 100, the halfway point, give or take. And what do we have for this legendary point? A wholly uninteresting incidental, C tier. Number 101, this is just to be petty, but I don't like you, B tier. Number 102, the first official kid incidental. I like the color scheme, I think it fits well, and that's all I got. Well, since it's a kid, maybe I can put on some like Subway Surfers or something, so C tier. Number 103, Monroe. One of my greatest adversaries, complete masochist, enjoys watching SpongeBob suffer in pain, like bubble soap in the eyes, getting run over by a tire, or Neptune forbid, forced to eat lima beans. Monroe also has a sweet tooth and foolishly took a bonbon from Sergeant Roderick. If you can't tell, Monroe and I don't get along. D tier, you vile creature. Number 104 goes by a few names. Gail, the most common. She's quite a frequent background incidental and probably has shown up wherever you can think of. As with a few examples, my theory is that she's in a relationship with 105 due to being on the same model sheet. And whatever this image implies. Woof woof. So how about a B? Number 105. I don't know what it is about 105, but I just like him. Maybe it's the simple colored shirt or dead look in his eyes. He's also one of the fry cooks of the series, getting welcomed by gullible SpongeBob. Seems pretty content with it, all things considered. I'm very tempted to give him an S just for submissive, but that's kind of stretching the joke. I'll say B again. Number 106. Can we get a moment of silence and memory for the unfortunate flag twirler incident? Thank you. Before his untimely death, he was pretty basic, all things considered. He's been a prisoner quite a few times, which I think tells you everything you need to know. He also tries to buy Karen. Keep this guy away from OnlyFans, or I guess OnlyFins. I'd actually rather not continue down this line of thought anymore. D tier, number 107. This guy is everywhere. You ever play Yakuza Kiwami with the Majima Everywhere system? It's pretty much the same here. By the way, if you didn't get the joke, this is your cue to try out Yakuza 0. It's like $20. Please try it. Anyways, his personality flip-flops per his seemingly endless appearances. Though I will admit, his favorite role of mine is the dead-end depressed cubicle worker from Doing Time. What were they cooking with back in the early 2000s, man? Just for recognizability, I'll give you an A tier. Number 108. Commonly known as Dale, this freak show is a cannibal. He ate some chewy candy fish and skipped boating class. What a sad fish. He shows up quite a bit and is usually an impatient jerk. He was also one of the first supporters of the Shelley superhighway that threatened to destroy all of Jellyfish Fields because, and I quote, "I like things that are super. Honestly, let this idiot rot in jail for all I care." He's a cannibal, against protecting the planet, and to top it off, he's probably a fan of Jimmy Neutron, the worst crime of them all. That joke only makes sense if you watched one of the Iceberg videos, so I'm thinking F tier. Number 109, shows up a few times and that's really about it. C tier. Number 110, another member of the nearly forgotten group. He showed up in Something Smells as this sorry driver and waited for about 15 years to make a comeback. Seems to appear way more in the Patrick Star Show instead of the mainline series. I wonder how true that is for the rest of the incidentals on this list. Well, I guess we'll see. Only like 110 more to go. Haha, this is a cry for help. C tier. Number 111, known as Dude Number 4 from Employee of the Month, where he buys Mr. Krabs clothes. I don't know the context, I haven't played the game, and when I do, it's gonna be so I can milk it for views. Also seems to be more common in the Patrick Star Show. B tier. I like the demeanor. Number 112, generally only seen from behind. I really like the outfit combined with a hat similar to Puff Mama. Just for that, I'll give an A tier. Number 113, same situation as the gal before him. F tier, no hat. Number 114, another classic. Pretty much the anchovy incidental. He hits all the B10 tier checklists. Fantastic hat and great clothing. I think he's also the only fish to be fully dressed. He's a good, hard-working anchovy. This is going to be an odd question, but do you guys think fish racism exists in Bikini Bottom? Not racism towards outsiders like Sandy, but interspecies racism? Like, do you think the fish types of carp, bass, koi, and more are against anchovies? Crab seems to have some kind of prejudice against them given help wanted. Interesting question, but we'll have to save it for another day. High A tier. You can't go wrong with this guy. Number 115. Since she has had so many varying personalities, I'll just base this off looks. I like the blue dress, shirt, blouse? Guys, I'm sorry, I don't know women's clothing, let alone fish women clothing. Nice hairstyle though. I think the bow brings it all together. solid B tier. Number 116. Now this is a loaded fish. On the surface, this is just a doctor or snail doctor, except though if you've seen some theories such as the videos by Alex Bale, you know this purple guy is not to be trusted. He's changed skin tones multiple times, sometimes gets called Dr. Gill and Dr. Gilliam, and of course the odd choice of his arm not matching his usual color. I do not trust this guy. F tier, number 117. Originally meant to show up in Doing Time, but was cut. Last appearance was in 2 Thumbs Down. After that, she has mysteriously vanished. An escaped convict on the loose? What can go wrong? Out of fear for my life, I'll be nice and give a B tier. Number 118. Oh boy. Police Time. 118 has had quite a few variations though. A, B, and D are all variants of cops. It's the same general design, just with altered hair or even a mustache. Bikini Bottom's Boys in Blue are pretty incompetent though, so I'm gonna give 118 A, B, and D all a D tier. Number 118, C. The Con Man from Chocolate with Nuts. Who can forget such a famous line of glass bones and paper skin? Sure, he may have been a complete scumbag, but at least he's a lovable scumbag. B tier. Number 119, one of the blue-collar workers of Bikini Bottom. Right now seems to be a garbage man, but is destined to chrome the world over in the future. Though he is also an undercover detective, if the crusty sponge is anything to go by, do not get on his bad side. B tier. Number 120, time for another lightning round. This time featuring classical fish from Sleepy Time, or as I see it, the entire cast of Hamilton. 120 is the most basic fish out of the school. C tier. Number 121, looks like a music teacher for an elementary school. I never learned music theory, so F tier. Number 122, I like the purple, I don't like his face. D tier. Number 123, such a smug, punchable face. D tier. Number 124, what is going on here? Are those fins? How'd she slip on the dress? D tier. I guess. Number 125, pukey color scheme, me no like. D tier. Number 126, looks like a commander in the Revolutionary War. C tier. Number 127, ditto. Number 128, I'm out of one-liners. D tier. Number 129, what am I looking at? F tier. Number 130, cool color palette. C tier. Number 131, what's that green hat? Is it a wig? I don't know. C tier. Number 132. Now, this guy is dapper. A tier. Number 133. No. D tier. Number 134. I. Number 135. Don't. Number 136. Care. Number 137. About you. All F tier. Number 138. The last classical fish. No known visual. S tier. Number 139. Cotton candy guy. Everyone likes cotton candy. Even me. I know. Big shocker. A tier. Number 140. Another unknown, same for 145 to 149. Number 141. All things considered, I like the design. B tier. Number 142. On the wiki, part of her description says, the kid fish at the park enjoying the Heartman, and I don't know why, but the phrasing and lack of context for the Heartman is really funny to me. Alright design, though haven't seen her much. D tier. Number 143. Pretty much a carbon copy of 142, but I like the blue and orange contrast. C tier. Number 144. Alright, I'm getting really tired of you. You've overstayed your welcome, brat. F tier. Number 150. Has a fantastic hat and scarf combo in Christmas Who, and gets a wrench from Squidward Tentaclaws. Who doesn't love a wrench? B tier. Number 151.
Where am I?
I feel you, little guy. Maybe it's the design or general personality, but I actually really like this guy. A tier. You know, I wonder if this means I just really like children. Number 152. This small guy had the propeller hat before it took off. Pun intended. Also in boating school. How young do they allow for driver's ed? Remind me not to go on any roads in Bikini Bottom anytime soon. C tier. Number 153. I like the design. I think the color palette works well. No complaints from me, just a pretty content B tier. Number 154. And with that, we are out of the semi-boring incidentals to cover. 154 is the mailman. Now, if Fallout New Vegas has taught me anything, besides desecrating war memorials is cool, it is to fear the mailman. Also, he really creeped me out during procrastination where he casually references SpongeBob's essay. Easiest A tier of my life. Number 155, another S tier. This lifeguard has had so many memorable moments. First off, he's a lifeguard. Respect. Second, he is the popular image from Rip Pants. He just seems like a reasonable guy and actually takes his job pretty seriously. Again, respect. Number 156, double whammy. Sandals is awesome, canon name, and is generally pretty nice throughout the show. The wiki also has this image with a caption, "A pleasantly happy Sandals." I feel so happy for this guy. He's living his best life. He's even made the largest rubber band ball. That takes effort. Another well-respected S tier, number 157. Another crowd incidental, albeit just a quartet, kinda just a ripoff of that one anchovy with the hat and tie. C tier, you copycat fish. Number 158. This is the good version of that nerd emoji fish I made fun of earlier. He's surprisingly seen in the Navy quite a bit. I wonder if he lied about his age to serve. Cool guy. A tier. Number 159. The only incidental that's a baby. Best known for roller cowards. I'll just give a C tier. Why not? Number 160. Originally a crowd incidental, and yep, this is the incidental of all time. It's a crowd composed of incidental fish. I don't really know what you want me to say for this one. C tier. Number 160. V2. We have to be running out of kid incidentals at some point, I swear. At one point he nearly eats poor SpongeBob, who he considers as an action figure. Nothing too crazy, but he has a hat, so as per usual, bonus points. B tier. Number 161. Ew. No, not a fan at all. He looks like we combined a grouchy old man and some forgotten comedian celebrity who desperately doesn't want to be forgotten. F tier. Number 162. That is definitely an incidental. Yes, I like the colors. I really don't care about this guy. D tier. Number 163. I'm pretty sure I could skip him and none of you would have noticed. F tier. Who's to say I haven't skipped a few incidentals? Number 164. Serves his purpose well in The Grill Is Gone. He's an annoying brat that steals the Krusty Krab's grill, and that's really about it. Not even the hat can save him. Another F tier. Number 165. Aw yeah, baby. Finally. Do you know how long I've been waiting? Unique character design. Thank Neptune. Probably my favorite design of all the incidentals thus far. She is great. A nice incidental who would have taught SpongeBob how to tie a knot, but she didn't know how. And check out her fancy design. She is a cute little top hat. And for Anniversary, she even waves to Squidward. I would die for incidental 165, and I would throw any of my viewers, you, in front of a bus for her. You'll understand, right? Top of S tier. Easy. Number 166. I was gonna say he seems chill, but the wiki seems to have originally called him Purple Guy. You can probably guess how that turned out though. C tier. Number 167. Her design is okay, but I really like how she looks in the Patrick Star Show for an episode. But she was a proponent of ink lemonade, so take that as you will. D tier. Number 168. Go away. I'm so tired of kid incidentals. Go away. F tier. Number 169. It's another kid incidental. I'm losing my mind. Another F tier. Number 170. Doesn't exist, but if they did, it's probably another kid. F tier. Number 171. Can you guess what 171 is? If you guessed kid, you're right. Your reward is an F tier. Yippee! Number 172. Stupid pigtails and dumb outfit. Screw you, F tier. Oh, but Tan, you're being so mean to the children. I don't care. They aren't real and they can't hear me. I'm losing my mind. Do you know how much time I've struggled to write funny words for these boring creatures? I'm so tired. I've lost years off my life. I have spent multiple hours recording this. I am just... Number 173. Okay, you know what? I'll work with this one. Originally, she was just called Helen the Felon, but got upgraded to an incidental. She has a lot of personality, and also bit a guy. I'll give a B tier, since this is the third to last kid incidental of the video, okay? Stick with me, we're nearly through this. Don't you dare give out on me now. Number 174. Unique hair. I'm personally not the biggest fan though. I'll be merciful. C tier. Number 175. Old, but managed to retain most of his hair. That's a pretty big achievement, though that sweater is not doing him any favors. C tier. Number 176. What is this? Is this a fish? He looks like Play-Doh or a soap bar. D tier. Spooky. Number 177. At this point, I just feel bad for these fish. Is this a life worth living? All wrinkly and raisin-like? Poor guy. C tier. Number 178. It's Mr. What's It To Ya. I love this guy. He just wanted to eat his lunch, but got hounded just for his name. B tier. Enjoy your life, man. Number 179. Do you know who else has dementia? Do you know who else has dementia? Do you know who else? Number 180. Seems like an interesting person, but nothing too special. C tier. Number 181. Now this is a cool guy. Awesome beard and eyebrows. good pal to Eugene Krabs, easily earns an A tier. Number 182, that has to be the greatest mustache I have ever been witness to. A tier. Number 183 and 184. Okay, calm down. Last two, we can do this. They remind me of Mario and Luigi, which is a win in my book. I will give them both C tier.
Finally! I can go on and do stuff in my life! I'm free!
Number 185, you look like you would work at a woodworking store. Up to the viewer if that's a good thing or not. C tier. Number 186, a spokesfish for snail treats. I wonder how snail treats taste. Not that I tried them, of course. Yeah. D tier. Number 187, I like how he looks on the model sheet. Very depressed. C tier. Number 188. Dude, what is up, brah? Killer design, brah. I love the fit and that small goatee. Wicked, man. That's like an S tier. What am I doing with my life? Number 189. Finally, at the end, the last group, and I've saved the best for last. Number 189 needs no intro. You know his face, his voice, his spatula, everything. Lovable, insecure guy. A tier. I just wonder how he got on the buses that didn't even run that late at night. Number 190 to 199 do not exist. So we are going to number 200. The rest of the fish in this video are deep sea creatures, far different from the usual fish we know. Number 200 is fairly simple, but I like him, especially that antenna thing on top of his head. C tier. Number 201. He's a sawfish. I still find it funny how some fish are sawfish. It seems so mysterious, such a cool name, cool design. This guy looks scary, but I bet you $5 he owns a snail who he spoils. A tier. Number 202, Spiky Fella. Similar opinion to 200, but I still like him. None of the deep sea incidentals get anything below a C tier, just for their unique designs. I love them all. Number 203, called Chuck by Patrick in the Night Patty. He's a bit of a funny looking guy, but is cool. Lacks arms though. Poor guy. C tier. Number 204, whoa. This guy is a coelacanth? Cowsanth? Coelacanth. There we go. What a cool name and great design to match up. As expected, great hat and good color scheme. This guy is just great all around. Easy S tier. Number 205. Anglerfish. Such a cool fish. I wonder if she's related to that frogfish from the movie. B tier. I think also the appeal of most of the deep sea fish goes up, since originally in Rock Bottom it wasn't HD, so the fuzziness of their design actually works really well in their favor. It makes them creepier, which is a huge boon here. Number 206. And speaking of creepy, here's the rock bottomite that scared me as a kid. Scary looking face, but is again based off of a real fish. That being a feeler fish. I like how the fins, or antenna, or whatever these long parts are, make up the eyebrows for the fish. Let the team cook with more experimental designs, please. These are great. A tier. Number 207. One of the few cetaceans of the series, aka whale-like creatures. Are they a bit goofy? Yeah. Do we love them for it? Also yeah. A tier. Number 208 and 209 have no known visuals, but just because I love them so much, I'll give them both B tier. Number 210. I love the color of this one. The dark blue with a cyan outline really adds a unique factor. Just, it looks cool. I like it. B tier. Number 211. Let's not beat around the kelp here. You know, and I know, this is an S tier. Awesome guy, great design, great colors, has an amazing little bow tie, and helps SpongeBob get out of Rock Bottom. Also is bilingual, able to speak in the Rock Bottom language or accent as well as Bikini Bottom. Who doesn't like this guy? Honestly. Number 212. This guy is so cool. He's based off of a viper fish. Regardless of appearance, how cool of a name is Viper Fish? I want a cool name like that. I like how he kind of mirrors Frank, or number 42. Both are orange with a blue shirt. Comments on the wiki page seem to agree with this. A tier. Number 213, Vibrant Green. Does his face remind you of Fred at all? Maybe I'm just going crazy. B tier. Number 214, another eel, another S tier. Based off of a pelican eel, which again is such a cool name. Like, look at this Wikipedia page. The jaw of it just opens. That's so cool. And so terrifying. 215 through 219 are unknown, so just B tier as expected. Number 220, Big Blobby Guy. And yeah, it's based off a real creature, that being a sea toad. I can see the resemblance. C tier. Number 221, really sick design, but I have to detract points for basically cutting in line. Not cool, honey. even if you are given birth. Weird. B tier. Number 222. And who do we have to end off this giant video? Is it a kid incidental? An elderly? No, we end on a high note with this recognizable guy. Who doesn't remember this person? One of, if not the most memorable incidentals of the entire show, to me at least, and is a great contender for our final S tier. And that's it. At the time of writing, the wiki only goes to 222 incidentals. Note there are hundreds more, but none of them numbered. If this video does well, please YouTube, maybe I'll do a similar tier list. Or maybe not. This has absolutely drained my mental strength. I'm gonna go crash and take a 12-hour nap. I've been Vitan. Thanks for watching.